Welcome back to the deep dive. It's amazing how technology keeps weaving itself into basically everything we do, especially our hobbies. Sometimes in really smart ways, sometimes just, well, super practical ways. Like, think about this. Have you ever found yourself out on the golf course? Maybe it's a perfect day, you're trying to focus on your game, but you're also kind of battling a dead phone battery, maybe from that GPS app,
Mhm.
or you're fumbling around with tangled charging cables in the car. It really pulls you out of the zone, doesn't it? Well, that exact kind of modern day problem is what we're getting into today. We're doing a deep dive into this gadget called the Teeboxx Smart Golf Speaker. The promise is pretty bold. It's supposed to be your caddy, DJ, and power bank all sort of rolled into one package. So our mission today is to unpack a review of this tee box. It comes from the YouTube channel Savage Reviews, and we want to figure out if this thing is actually a game changer for golfers, or maybe just, as the source kind of jokes, another Kickstarter fever dream.
Yeah, and it's such a good example of this trend we're seeing, right? Where tech gets really specialized for these niche markets. These products aren't just, throwing features at the wall. They're designed to solve very specific frustrations that people have in their hobbies. The T-Box definitely looks like it fits that mold, trying to fix those little annoyances on the course.
Okay, yeah, let's unpack this tee box a bit more then. So imagine a Bluetooth speaker, plays your music, fine. But it does quite a bit more. It's got Bluetooth 5.0, so decent connection. But the clever part is it has magnetic wireless charging built right in for your phone. And it also uses something they call Rex Grip magnet technology, which sounds pretty
Right,
serious.
Rex, correct. It's basically designed to let you slap the speaker and your phone right onto the metal frame of your golf cart and keep it there.
Exactly. Spec-wise, it weighs about 1.66 pounds, so it feels solid, not flimsy, but hopefully not too heavy either. And a big claim they make is the battery life. Says that lasts over 2 rounds of golf on a single charge. Quite a lot.
Yeah, 2 rounds is pretty good. If that holds up in real-world use, that's a definite plus.
And that magnetic mount, it's not just for the speaker itself, right? It's supposed to lock your phone on there securely too. They say it'll hold through whatever terrain you're navigating. So bumpy fairways, cart paths, whatever. They're really pushing the stability angle.
And what's really interesting, I think, is how they've integrated these different functions. It's not just here's a speaker, here's a charger.
Mm.
It's combining them smartly,
Yeah.
especially the magnetic wireless charging. That's key because, like you said, nobody wants to mess with cables when you're jumping in and out of the cart. It's all about making it seamless while you're trying to play.
Okay, so what's the damage? The price is listed at $169. And for that price, you get the speaker, obviously, a charging cable, that magnetic mount piece, and actually a travel case, too.
Oh, a travel case is a nice touch.
Yeah, and a warranty, which, as Savage Reviews points out, including those things, the case and the warranty, it kind of suggests they're actually serious about the build quality.
Right. It signals it's meant to be a proper piece of gear, not just some cheap gadget that'll break after a few uses.
So this is where it gets really interesting, I think, because this isn't just tech for tech's sake. It's laser focused on solving a specific problem. If you're that golfer, right, the one
Yeah.
who's always checking the GPS, maybe snapping photos, and your phone battery just tanks by the back nine, and you're sick of juggling cables while trying to drive the cart, this thing is basically shouting your name. It targets that exact pain point.
Absolutely. And that really highlights, how important that user-centric design is.
Yeah.
The review makes it clear. This tee box is built for a very specific type of golfer. It's maybe not for the casual player who goes out once a month, but for someone who plays like multiple rounds every week
Okay.
and is constantly dealing with a dead phone. For them, it's not just a small irritation. It's something that genuinely disrupts their game. So solving that problem has real value.
And it seems like that specific group really responded. The T-Box launched on Kickstarter back in March 2025, and the review says it hit over 300% funding immediately. Just boom.
Wow. Yeah, 300%. That really tells you something, doesn't it?
It does. So, for you listening, what does that kind of immediate Kickstarter success signal? Is it just hype, or does it mean they really nailed a genuine need?
Well, getting that kind of funding, especially that quickly on Kickstarter, is a pretty strong signal. It suggests, first, they identified a real, maybe even deeply felt pain point. And second, that the solution they proposed really resonated with that target audience. People were willing to back it before it was even fully real. That's probably the best validation you can get for demand, especially in a niche market. It shows, yeah, both effective targeting and a genuine unmet need.
Okay, let's step back a bit. What about the competition? I mean, golf speakers aren't exactly brand new, are they?
Definitely not.
You've got companies like Blue Tees, for instance. They make some really popular speakers, but theirs often include GPS built right in.
Right, for yardages and things like that.
Yeah, giving you distances to the pin, tracking shots, maybe even course maps. And those are often around a similar price point to this Teeboxx. So it's not like Teeboxx is walking into an empty room.
It's definitely a crowded space, and GPS is a feature many golfers expect now in a speaker.
But here's the twist with Teeboxx. They seem to be deliberately focusing only on entertainment, the music, and the charging. They consciously decided not to add GPS, which is a pretty clear choice, setting them apart from some big competitors.
And that's a really interesting strategic decision, isn't it? Choosing to specialize instead of just adding every feature under the sun. We see this more and more. Products that succeed by doing fewer things, but doing them exceptionally well. In a market like this, maybe mastering the audio quality and the charging reliability is a smarter play than trying to be an okay speaker, an okay charger, and an okay GPS all in one box.
That's a great point. Better to nail the core function.
Exactly. Know what problem you're really solving and focus on that.
Okay, but, and there's always a but, right? We need to talk about the practical side. Because a golf course isn't exactly a lab environment.
Far from it, yeah.
The Savage Reviews source brings this up directly. It asks, can it truly deliver on its promises out on the course? That's the million-dollar question, or maybe the $169 question here. And the absolute key concern it raises is the real test is whether wireless charging actually works reliably while bouncing around a golf course. That seems like the make or break issue.
Absolutely. That's crucial. Because, let's be honest, wireless charging can sometimes be a little temperamental, even when your phone is sitting perfectly still on a desk.
Yeah.
So now you add in, as the review notes, cart vibrations and outdoor elements, sun, maybe a bit of dust, bumps.
Yeah.
It definitely raises genuine questions about how consistently it's going to perform.
Yeah.
And there's another layer to it with the magnet, too. That mount needs to be really strong, right? Strong enough to hold your expensive phone securely over every bump.
Right, you don't want your phone flying off on the 7th fairway.
Exactly. But it also can't be so strong that you struggle to pull your phone off quickly when you need it. Like if you want to take a quick picture or answer a call, finding that perfect balance between secure grip and easy removal, that's a tricky engineering challenge.
Okay, so considering all of the good ideas, the potential pitfalls, what's the final verdict from Savage Reviews? Is this something you, our listener, should actually consider upgrading to for your golf bag?
So the overall assessment from the source seems to be that the Teeboxx is, and this is a quote, thoughtfully designed for a specific market. The conclusion isn't that it's perfect for everyone, but it's pretty clear. If you are that target user, playing multiple times a week, constantly fighting a dying phone battery, then this device could genuinely improve your experience. It really zeroes in on solving that specific problem effectively.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's not trying to be everything, and the review points out that while, okay, it's not revolutionary tech wireless charging exists, speakers exist so more, sometimes the best products aren't about brand new inventions, they just execute obvious ideas really well.
Taking existing pieces and combining them in a smart way to solve a real-world frustration.
Right. And for what it offers, that $169 price tag feels appropriate for the feature set. It's positioned as a solid solution. Not necessarily groundbreaking, but very practical.
And often, that practical solution to an annoying problem is exactly what people are looking for.
So it brings us back to where we started, doesn't it? Thinking about how tech integrates into our hobbies. The Teeboxx is just such a neat example. It shows how sometimes the most useful innovations aren't these huge leaps, but just elegant fixes for those nagging everyday frustrations. Taking something annoying like fumbling with charging cables in a golf cart, which sounds almost comical when you think about it, and just making it disappear so you can focus on the actual game.
You really hit on something important there. It's about that thoughtful design, identifying the core problem, and having the discipline maybe to not add extra bells and whistles. Just focusing on solving that one thing really well. That often leads to a much better user experience, even if the parts themselves aren't brand new tech. It's how they're combined for a specific need.
Absolutely. And that kind of leaves us with a thought for you, the listener, to chew on. Think about your own hobbies, whatever you love doing. Maybe it's faking, maybe cooking, gardening, maybe even just your daily commute. What's that small, nagging inconvenience? That little persistent frustration that maybe could be elegantly solved by a product that just executes an obvious idea really, really well? What simple upgrade out there could genuinely improve your experience and let you just enjoy the thing you love doing? Something to think about until our next deep dive.